Hey everybody, Jiggly Jones, singer-songwriter. I'm here for number 8, episode 8 of Jiggly's Joneses. And once again, to remind you that this is for the non-musician. This is an FYI session. I'm going to get right into it today. This is something I should have did maybe in episode 1 or 2, but I'm going to rewind today and go back and give you an idea of what I've accomplished in the indie music scene. And, I want to reiterate to you that I am not in any way some big deal in the music world. I do not do this for a living, and I want to make sure that you understand that you can be successful to a certain level and not be able to make a living at it. If you noticed, I'm using a different format today. This is a different phone, a different camera. I just figured I'd give it a try, add something a little different. So let's get right at it. I'm going to be doing some reading of some things. I can't memorize all this stuff and get it. Over the years, I've been signed to, I'd say, 8 different entities, 3 indie labels, and 5 managers or producers or slash producers or slash PR guys or whatever. So, yeah. I ended up getting a couple of these out of that. Cool, huh? Yeah. Wow. Woohoo! Yeah! How about that, huh? I've had things written about me in different magazines and things like that. I'm trying to dig some things up. This is a magazine. I'm actually on the front cover right there. They did an article about me in here. Another one in this magazine. Here's like a lot of the press that I got over the years, different articles. And like I said, you can Google search all this stuff. That. And then I've gotten a whole bunch of reviews. Also, you can Google search all that stuff. And the interviews I did were probably well over 100. But these are some of the written interviews I did. And then I did some interviews on, internet radio or blog talk radio, things like that. That's always a lot of fun. And some more articles, just straight up articles about me. Like I said, Google search that stuff if you want to check it out. Most of it's still online. But, it's been a great journey, and I'm continuing on. I just slowed down a little bit, that's all. I'll start off by telling you about the places I've performed at over the years. And this goes back to before I was Jiggly Jones. I played in a bunch of bands over the years. I started out as a bass player way back when, doing covers, getting my chops together before I became a songwriter and branched out in that direction. In New York, I've played CBGB's numerous times. That's a world-famous club. It's closed up now, but it lasted a long time. And at the time, anybody who was anybody played in that place. The Talking Heads got discovered there. I think Living Colour might have been discovered there. All kinds of bands. The Ramones was a big place for them back in the day. On and on and on. But, I did the Lion's Den in New York, the Cat Club. I did the Bleecker Street thing with the Bitter End and Kenny's Castaways and numerous other smaller clubs back in the day. There was one called the Elbow Room. I don't know how long it lasted, but a lot of stuff in New York. In Philadelphia, I did pretty much every club that there was over the years. South Street a lot. In New Jersey, I did a lot of stuff there. Northern New Jersey, Southern New Jersey, at the Shore, Delaware, in Wilmington, the World Cafe Live, on and on and on with that. Some stuff out in Lancaster County, the Chameleon Club. I've played in other states, Kentucky, Virginia, New York State, up in Rochester, Buffalo. I played numerous times in Nashville. I did 2 CMA Fests down there. I played B.B. King's Blues Club one year. I did the Ernest Tubb Record Shop right on Broadway in the middle of the biggest, coolest festival there is, the CMA Fest. I've played at the Musicians Hall of Fame in Nashville at their stage, right at the entrance of the place. Really cool place. And, you know, I've done a few mini tours here and there. I never did extensive tours, didn't think it was going to be lucrative for me. So, yeah, that's that. That's right. I wouldn't lie to you. Prior to Jiggly Jones, I played in numerous bands over the years. I started out as a bass player, doing covers and things, just getting my chops together. You know, I lived in LA for a while, worked in the entertainment industry out there for about 6 months before I ended up moving back here because I signed with a manager connected to somebody in London, England. But I ended up living in New York for a while, playing in a band up there. We did some cool stuff. We had some soundtrack music that was put on at some MTV shows. Like Cindy Crawford had a show called House of Style. I think we did some soundtrack stuff on that. We did some soundtrack stuff on, I think Dennis Rodman had a show. And we had some soundtrack stuff on like a B movie. Really fun times, really cool times up there. Okay, let's fast forward to Jiggly Jones. What do you say? I've had, let's see, I've had 2 EPs released starting in 2012, I think it was. That was the first one, then 2014 was the second one. After that, I think I had a single released called Truth Seeker. Then I released an entire album, Not Your Typical Day Out. Then I released another single this past April. And next year, 2020, I plan on releasing 2 or 3 singles, I think. The first one's going to be coming out in January. We've talked about that before, Broken Arrow. So I think I have 22 or 23 songs out in the public that's available to the public now. These days, how you measure an original artist is Spotify. It's streaming music, and I'm sure most of you people that are checking this out know exactly what I mean. My Spotify numbers have been pretty good, considering, you know, I'm not some big deal. You know, I'm proud of them. You know, my monthly listeners vary from anywhere from 250 to 650. Right now, I'm talking like 90,000 streams overall. You know, which is pretty cool. And every day I got you know, from 10 to 30 streams, I would say. Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to read this one because I don't have it memorized, but these are the award shows that I was actually involved with. In Kentucky, in Ashland, Kentucky, the IMA, which is the International Music and Entertainment Association, nominated me a couple years, I think in 2013, 2014, for a couple categories, and I actually won the 2013 Songwriter of the Year, which was like the biggest honor that has ever been bestowed upon Jiggly Jones, because I am a songwriter. That's my thing. That's what I am here to do, and to be recognized for that was awesome. The next year, I ended up winning the Adult Contemporary Song of the Year, so that was cool too. I've been nominated for, let's see, in 2014, the New Music Awards in LA. I was nominated for 1 or 2 categories there. 2014, the Independent Country Music Awards in Nashville. I was nominated for something there. In 2014, also, I was nominated for a handful of categories at the AMG Heritage Awards, and that was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Went down to that. It was a black tie event, really cool thing. That's where I said I met some pretty big people from the past, and had a good time. In 2016, I was also nominated in that same award show for Male Vocalist of the Year, which I ended up being a finalist for that, but did not win, but was happy nonetheless. I did spend a little bit of time on the AMA charts, which is the Americana charts, which is it's followed and documented by Billboard magazine. Most of the charts I've been on have been like publication charts, like No Depression, which is an Americana publication. In 2014, I ended up in the top 100 albums for that year at number 78. So that was really cool. Also in 2014, the Roots Music Report, I ended up in their top 100 too at number 91, and also in their, I was number 90 or number 43 in their top 100 singles that year. So I also spent 8 months on 2 of their top 5 lists. So that was really cool, exciting. Throughout all my travels and stuff, I had some really cool things happen to me. I got to do a photo session with a guy named Mick Rock, who was a huge, he was the photographer in rock music back in the 70s and early 80s. Since then, he's released a book that has a lot of his photos in it. He did some big stuff, David Bowie, he did Queen, he did all kinds of things. And when we were there getting the photo shoot, he was working on that book, which we got to see a bunch of Queen pictures and contact sheets laid out on the table that he was preparing. I think it was from the album Sheer Heart Attack, which was back before Queen got really huge. But you know, it was cool working with him. He had pictures on the wall of Andy Warhol and Deborah Harry, Blondie, all kind of stuff. So you know, look up Mick Rock. Anyway, I got to meet the guy. I got to do a photo session with him. That was really cool. I've been to Nashville a bunch. I've got to record down there a couple times in 2 different studios. I got to shoot a music video down there. Like I said before, I've done 2 CMA fests. And the one time I went down, I played at the Musicians Hall of Fame, which is a really, really cool place. And the coolest part of that was not just the performance, but afterwards, I got to go back behind all the exhibits and see some of the ones that they were working on. They took me back there, and I actually got inside of, before it was available to the public for viewing, Johnny Cash's mobile recording studio trailer, which was, wow, it was just like, I almost passed out. Just me and the guy that took me back there were standing in his trailer, which is the actual one that he recorded a bunch of his stuff and other artists' stuff in that trailer over the years. Look it up, Google search that. You'll see it, but it might be actually available to the public now at the museum. I'm not sure, but it was really great. I got to stand there. I could have touched Jimi Hendrix's clothes, and it was a really neat thing to get to do. So, yeah. Some of the other things, back before Jiggly Jones, when I was living in L.A., I got to be at a Disney industry premiere of a movie, got to sit with the Disney people. I went to a record release party at the top of the Sunset Hyatt Hotel on the roof for a band that was released, I think, on Capitol Records. But got to meet people like Chubby Checker and some of the older stars from way back when that went to this 1 or 2 of these award shows. Some of my favorite things that's happened to me are reviews that people do of my music. I've rarely had a bad word said about me, and some of the things that people have said are really the things that drive me to keep going with all this. I've gotten some great reviews. That's right. I wouldn't lie to you. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, let it rip, man. I'd love to get on here and talk about it. If you want to check out the other 7 episodes, they're on my YouTube channel under YouTube/Jiggly Jones Music. Some of them are pretty funny, I had to say so myself. I crack myself up sometimes. Having a good time with that. Oh yeah. So, hey, once again, thank you so much for listening in, and I would just like to say this to you: drive safely, and I'll see you next time.